So very briefly, I kind of wanted to do a video and talk about a little bit of something that's coming on, because analysts are saying, that it could be potentially very bad news for Xbox. And for me anyway, when you look at this and you look at kind of the warnings and things, it's easy to see how this could turn south for Microsoft very, very quickly, especially given, where they're kind of at with the entire generation, and just kind of fed up with the hardware and things like that in the first place. So we'll see. And listen, they say that, whatever goes up must come down. And so basically, we kind of live in this weird situation where, it could be very, very bad for Microsoft and very bad for Xbox. Now, I want to get into it, and I'm very curious to hear what everybody else has in the comments. I had some business I had to take care of, so I missed a couple days of videos, and I'm just now kind of catching up or whatever. But this is super interesting. As you guys might know, maybe you don't, the latest Call of Duty has released, and this is usually like the big game of the year, right? Like, this is the game that everybody kind of amps up about, everybody's talking about it. And this year I've noticed has been kind of underwhelming. And when you kind of look at things and you want to kind of an idea of why competition is such a good thing, like, and listen, I'm a Call of Duty guy, right? I own like every single Call of Duty up to a certain point. I don't think I bought last year's, and I didn't buy this year's, and it's not because they're on Game Pass, because my Game Pass runs out in December. But the reason why is I didn't even play last year's. It's gone beyond ridiculous with like the skins, like Beavis and Butthead, Seth Rogen. Like, that's not Call of Duty to me. I like playing the campaigns. They were cool. A lot of them were grounded. Even when they weren't grounded, like you had the ones that took place in space, they were a good story, and it was Call of Duty. Now, like, I've seen clips of this, and there's a giant zombie, and there's, it's like, this stuff is not interesting to me. Like, they've kind of ruined it. And now, from what I'm looking at, and I get it, right, because I'm not a PC gamer, but the Steam charts are the accurate charts because they just list them. I wish everybody was as kind of transparent as Steam was. But so this game launched, there's 86,245 players on it right now. Now, last year there was like 300 and something, and 3 years ago there was almost 500,000 at the peak. And because they treat it like DLC, it's just always called Call of Duty, right? So you have 86,200 on there right now, and this is launch day. You know what I mean? It's like the weekend, the launch day for this. And outside of that, the other thing that kind of is interesting is you go, okay, well, why is that such a thing? Or, it's just Steam. Well, there's probably other places to play it. I get it. But when you go down to 86,000 and you had, 300, 400,000 people last year, I think that shows a significant kind of drop off there. And maybe people are finally getting fed up. And the other thing that I kind of noticed is that, a game like Battlefield 6 has almost 250,000 people. Arc Raiders has 330,000 people. It's crazy to me that this is kind of the stuff that that we're seeing right now. It's weird to not see Call of Duty on top. I'm not saying that it's the ultimate demise of Call of Duty, but if Call of Duty suffers, I think somewhat the industry suffers. Certainly Microsoft suffers, so that could be a bit of a problem going forward, and we'll have to see how that kind of works out. But like I said, I'm very interested to see like where this leads. Like what's happening. I've heard some pretty bad things about the game, and people are just in general maybe are just kind of fed up, and the competition that has come out has really kind of kind of stepped into this, made this spotlight shine on Call of Duty, and realized that it's not really a great game anymore, and they maybe should go back to the drawing board. It's like they did the space thing a couple times in a row. People really hated that. It forced them to kind of go back to more realistic stuff. They did World War II. People kind of are over that for sure. The further we get out from it, a lot of people and kids and stuff today don't even know anything about World War II, honestly. So yeah, that's probably not a good idea to go back to that, but it's like, you can do more modern stuff. And it's just weird to me because the first Black Ops was just amazing, and the second Black Ops even had a pretty good campaign. And it's just like, to me, to see it kind of go the way that it is, it just shows you why you need competition. And hopefully Microsoft really goes out there and starts competing and doing something amazing. Once again, listen, I get it. People are always going to be looking at certain things in a certain way. But for me anyway, I kind of look at this and I go, yeah, Microsoft really kind of dropped the ball here. They obviously they want things to kind of go and be a certain way or whatever the case may be. But this to me is strange to see how this has kind of happened and how Microsoft is kind of reacting to this and how people are. But if they're not making money with this kind of stuff, then what's going to happen? Like, I think other things kind of suffer. You're looking at, possibility of layoffs and things like that, which would never be a good thing. That's always going to be kind of a bad thing or whatever. But like I said, I'm very curious to hear what you guys think, because I know the defense force is going to go, oh, well, this is just Steam charts. They aren't everything. But it's like, I get that 100%, but it's like the biggest PC way to play things, and the fact that it's lower there should mean, or could mean eventually, that it is lower in other places as well, just using your kind of common sense. And that's, I think, where we're at with this right now. And is this going to be something that could affect other things spread throughout Xbox? Like, that's another thing you have to kind of worry about. Like, Microsoft thinks that everything is big like Call of Duty, or everything is big like Minecraft, and that's not necessarily the point. And that's not necessarily the truth, just like from where we're looking at. So, maybe they'll be able to change something up. Maybe something will happen where, we'll see some changes go along or something along those lines. But right now, it's just like, to me, it's kind of crazy to see that, Call of Duty isn't like taking the top spot. And even though Battlefield released a while ago, is still beating it. You know what I'm saying? And then even Battlefield was able to kind of edge it out, I think, for a little bit on the console side. And even though, again, like, you could also look at like Game Pass. I know people will go, well, Game Pass, but keep in mind also that last year, Call of Duty being a Game Pass cost Microsoft $300 million. So again, how often are they going to want to take that hit? And the game has gotten so bad that longtime purists like me, like, I played the first Call of Duty like back in the day. And then, I was there for the rise of Call of Duty 4 when that changed the game. And then Modern Warfare 2 and, like World at War, that was huge. Like, those were amazing parts of my life. Like, gaming has been such an expansive parts of my life. And then those games in particular were just amazing. You get home from work, you kick it off with the boys and you're playing these games and you're just having a good time. And those are still some amazing times to me. And to see Call of Duty kind of fall off, and I'm not saying it's 100%, Xbox's fault, whatever the case may be. But what I am saying is that what we're starting to see is maybe some of that shine come off, and things are kind of falling by the wayside a bit. So we'll see how this goes. I think Microsoft could definitely change some things up, and maybe Xbox will change some things up. Maybe Microsoft will step in. I don't know, but for me anyway, it's like you got to have some of that competition there. I think the fact that there is competition there from these other shooters and things is really going to have to cause Call of Duty to step its game up. I remember when Microsoft was first interested in buying Activision, and they were and people were saying, and Microsoft was saying, yeah, we could, Call of Duty could even take a break and get it right and things like that. I mean, even though each one of these things is allegedly getting a 3-year development cycle now, it's still like, you have 8-10 studios working on these things. It's like this factory, and they're losing what was like it's so fun about it. It's like these games used to be just these simple games, and now it's like you go to try to play them and they're just like terrible. It's like the skins are bad. I know they kind of are rectifying it this version, but it's like the campaign. They're using assets from Warzone. It's like this open thing. It's like 5 hours, which I know the Call of Duty games weren't exactly long in the length of the campaign times, but we'd see things that were a little bit better and longer, like fleshed out and things like that. Some of those Call of Duty campaigns were amazing, and now they're just complete and utter crap, and they treat them as DLC. And I don't know, it's just like this weird kind of factory situation where these things are kind of boom boom, and this could be like a warning. This could affect everything going forward, right? Because right now the hardware is what loses Xbox money, but what happens if things don't start performing the way that they're used to, and then across the board you're losing money, right? And not just that, I mean, what is Microsoft going to do at that point when you've got these crazy margins that you're supposed to hit, and this game just is not what it's supposed to be or where it's supposed to be at. So yeah, like I definitely see like there's some issue there, and you know, hopefully there could be some change there that can get some things rolling. But again, this is definitely a sign. I don't know, how do you guys take it? Do you guys take it as maybe a wake up call from Microsoft? Are you guys worried, if you're an Xbox fan, that this could like change things? Like, I'm very curious to see what everybody thinks, and I would love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section. I'm back in the comment section, so yeah, make sure you guys stop by, say what's up, and all that kind of good stuff. And I'll catch you guys next time. We'll rack 'em up. Crab Gamer out.